Welcome, race fans, to Sim Race TV. I'm Jay Weezy. It's race number 2 tonight for the United Southern Racing League, and they're out there finishing up their qualifying times right now, and you see them right in front of your screen. Dustin Phillips won last week. Tommy Haynes on the pole right now. Troy Rafford in second. Edward Morris in third, and Jerry Glenn in fourth. John T. Wimbish rounds out the top 5, and coming into tonight, looking at a good race here. You know what they say, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, and we're going to find out here very soon. It is early on in the season, so this is race number 2 tonight, so get ready. These guys getting set. The Cup cars about to go round and round here in Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the United Southern Racing League. And we got a driver out there right now. Tonight, up in the booth with me, Dustin German. How you doing, Dustin? What do you think about this race coming up here tonight? Race number 2.
How you doing there, Jay Weezy? Man, it's going to be a lot of fun. We finally get off the high bank, so we're going to go to a more driver's track and hopefully see what these guys can do. It's out here in the middle of the desert, but it's kind of cool. 78-degree track temp. I went and made a few laps on the SRTV Z01, and it's a little bumpy around 1 and 2. It's going to they never try to get up in that top groove 1 and 2 and ride it around up there. Probably the best way around. You don't want to get in them bumps that'll shoot you up to the wall. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yeah, it's a fun track, man. 1.5 miles in the Cup car. They got plenty of horsepower, and they're about to get them things revved up. But let's take a look at the qualifying as it stands right now. Tommy Haynes still holding on to that pole. Looks like he's going to be our pole sitter for tonight's race. Race number 2 with Troy Rafford on his outside. We know how fast Troy is. Battle with him week in and week out over at RFC. So we'll see what Troy's got to show for us tonight in the Cup Series. I haven't really seen him in a Cup car. Let's see if we can get a talk in with our pole sitter, Tommy Haynes, the number 17. You put it on pole tonight.
Yes, sir.
How's it feel, man? How's the car feel? And you look fast out there.
Feels pretty good, man. I've had a lot of practice this week. Hopefully we can bring this thing home in a win.
Hey, well, starting off on the pole, it don't get no better than that, man. Maybe you can keep it up front and keep it clean. What about fuel mileage? I don't want you to give us any secrets away, but looking at some green flag stops at least.
Oh, yeah, we're looking at about 30 to 33 laps on the tank.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. All the information we can squeeze out of you, always helpful for us up in the booth, man. Me and Dustin up here tonight, so good luck out there.
Yeah, thank y'all for what you do, and look for the race here.
Hey, man, good luck. All right, they're gridding up, Dustin.
Yeah, man, this is going to be a good battle. 130 lap race here, and looks like Tommy's picking up right where he left off at the last 1.5 miles we had last season in Xfinity cars. He seems to be real fast around these places, and man, he's got some competition though in his mirror.
Absolutely. Looks like we got about 19 drivers showed up here tonight, so it's going to be a pretty nice little field out there. But Tommy Haynes seems to be the fastest so far. He's going to be starting on the pole in the 17 machine. Troy Rafford to his outside there. And on that second row, we got Edward Morris in the number 7 and Jerry Glenn alongside him in the 97 machine. Third row is going to be John T. Wimbish in the 56 car, the 98 of Chris Stump on his outside. Todd Sargent in the 30 and A.J. Rogers in the 4th row. 5th row is going to be Dylan Mirando in the 27 machine. And in the 61 car, we got Adam Jocelyn. 6th row is going to go to Dale Albright, the 26 car, and Chris Berg, the 66. 7th row is Keith Dunn and Dustin Phillips. 8th row is Darren Clement and Michael Thwaites. Sorry about that. The 9th row, we got Dustin Ping, the number 9, which is starting in the back, man. I see he's probably going to come up through the field there. And Eric Driggins in the 42. Bruce Potter and Ray Radford, they're going to be in that 10th row, and that last row's empty. So, yeah, 10 rows of cars here tonight. I'm ready for this one. Dustin Phillips won last week at Daytona, so he's going to come in tonight as your points leader. I believe he's 7 points ahead.
Yeah, he's 7 points over Keith Dunn there, and 8 points over Dale Albright.
Well, the points are tight right now. 2 races. This is race number 2, so I wouldn't expect nothing less here. And we're already getting ready to go green here, so it's gonna be on Tommy Haynes in the SRTV paint scheme. Nice. Pace car's in there. Tommy Haynes didn't waste no time hammering down. Pretty clean start so far. Tommy Haynes out front. Not by much. Troy Radford. Sorry about that. Troy Radford looking strong right now. As he's not letting Tommy get away right yet. We're looking a little bit further back where it's spread out just a little bit. Tommy Haynes trying to hold off Troy Radford here. Lap number 2. And Troy Radford actually led the last lap, so he's already made his way around Tommy Haynes there. So Tommy looks like he might be trying to save just a little bit.
Yeah, Troy looking really strong here early. Like you said, Tommy might be just hiding his hand just a little bit just to see how it shakes out.
Yeah, Tommy's becoming under fire here. Looks like Chris Stump and Ed Morris trying to move in here. They are all over the back of that 17 machine. It's a 94. Troy Radford leads another lap. It's going to be lap number 3 led for Troy. Chris Stump side by side with Ed Morris right now for that 3rd position as they dive down into 2. The 98 on the bottom. The 7 washes up the track, gets close to that wall as they come off turn 2. Chris Stump's going to take over that number 3 spot. Right behind Edward Morris, we got John T. Wimbish there, the 56.
Yeah, most tracks, most mile and a half, you see a lot of guys hug that white line, but 1 and 2 here, man, there's so many bumps down there, you just can't do it.
Yeah, top 5 looking tight right now. At least top 7, I believe, all over each other. John T. Wimbish trying to hold off the 97 right now. The 97 is Jerry Glenn. Jerry Glenn looking strong right now. He's up on the high side. John T. down on the bottom. Hey, Ronnie.
You know, like I was saying earlier, this is a very, very cool track conditions and air temperature here. 69-degree air temperature, and I believe I think it's 74 for the track. I'm sorry, 79 for the track. So that's perfect conditions to be running out here right now. A lot of grip.
'97 looks to the inside of John T. Wimbish as Chris Stump pulls a move on the 17 up front there. Chris Stump moving up through the field there, putting the move on our pole sitter, Tommy Haynes right now. Looks like Tommy's holding back. Not for sure, but right now the 17 machine started on the pole. He's moved back to that 3rd spot there, and he's under fire from the 7 as well. Edward Morris moving in on Tommy.
Yeah, I tell you guys, not holding back, man. That's Troy Radford. He has took off.
Troy Radford, no holds barred. He is always full throttle, it seems like. And right now it's working out for him because he is holding on to that lead there by 0.8 seconds over Chris Stump. And we know Chris Stump, he's mighty fast himself, so he might be able to run down Troy. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. So far, great start by all these drivers here, still under green as they come to lap number 10. United Southern Racing League here at Las Vegas. Some great shots there coming across that start-finish line there, but Troy Radford, I tell you what, these guys better step it up if they want something to do with this 94 machine. The 94 looking strong there. And Chris Stump actually closed that gap just a little bit. So the 98 really strong tonight too. The Toyota Camry, a Bud Light Toyota Camry at that.
Yeah, it looks like he closed it even more that time around. So, yeah, he's catching our leader. It's going to be interesting in a few laps. Looks like a lot of our fast guys are right up in that high line. It looks like the preferred groove at the moment.
Yeah, Chris Stump right up next to that wall. Tommy Haynes not too far lower than him. Looks like they carry a lot more momentum up there. Either that or these cars are just so fast they can't keep it down. You know, these things have a lot of horsepower, these Cup Series cars. Let's take a lap around here with Tommy Haynes. Sorry, Chris Stump. Tommy Haynes pulls a move on Chris Stump while we were riding on board with the 98 machine. The 17 going to take over that number 2 spot. Take it back, he said. And he's going to try to run down Troy Radford. Troy out to 6/10 lead, almost 7/10 of a second right now over that 17 car. The 7 of Ed Morris looking really strong. I tell you what, they better watch out for that 7 because Ed, he come in hot here.
Battle more than we are, man. That's that guy up there in front, Troy Radford. He's looking in his mirror and saying, bye-bye, boys.
Yeah, he ain't got time for him. Let's take a look at the track information for tonight's race here while we're green. Winds out of the west at 2 miles an hour, 69 degrees. Track temps only 80 with a little bit of humidity. Skies are clear though, no fog. 198 mile race here, so they got a long way to go and a short time to get there.
Yeah, I guess Tommy got tired of falling back. He's stepping on the loud pedal right now. He's moving on back up, and he's getting bigger in Troy's mirror there.
Yeah, Chris Stump's on a mission. And Tommy Haynes as well. The top 3 right now: Troy Radford, Tommy Haynes, and Chris Edward Morris actually just got around the 98 right there as we were going through the top 3. So the 7 moving on up like the Jeffersons.
Hey, George Jefferson, like his name is Wheezy.
That's right. Oh yeah, absolutely.
You don't say you're anybody's old lady there, but it's coincidence, I guess.
No, you better calm down. We're back. Good.
Tommy's found something here, man. I don't know what he's doing, but man, he's really looks like he's closing in on Troy, and he's pulling a train with him. Looks like Troy might have burned his tires off a little bit because he got stretched out there quite a bit away from these guys.
Yeah, Troy took off really quick. Like I said, pedal to the metal, no holds barred. Troy shot out of the cannon there, opened up almost a second lead there. Now they've got it narrowed down now to 0.3 of a second. So the Napa machine up front falling back just a little bit as Tommy Haynes starting to reel him in here. And the number 17, and man, that car just looks so good.
Caution here.
Yeah, we're under caution. First caution of the night. Looks like it's going to be Dustin Ping. No. Dustin Phillips. Let's go take a look on the replay. He got in the wall a little bit there off 2. Oh, kind of lost it all the way down the backstretch. Couldn't really hang on to it. We'll take one more look from a different angle here. Oh, wow. That thing, it looked like a handful, man. You know, once he got into the wall, it's like he never got it back together there. So, pit stops underway right now. Let's take a look at these guys as they come down pit road and into their pit box.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Dustin. He comes here the points leader. I don't like he's going to have it when we leave here, and unless he can make something happen here.
Yeah, tough break for him. Yeah, 7 points only separates him. So, you know, coming into tonight, I'm sure he knew it was going to be tough. You know, with the points being so close together. This is race number 2, so it's still early. And these guys, they'll have plenty of time. As we watch the race off of pit road, Troy Radford, I believe, comes out first. Let's take a look up front here. Is your race leader right now. Troy Radford with a great pit stop there on and off pit row, about a half a second faster than Tommy Haynes. So he's going to hold on to the lead and be able to try to stretch out that lead one more time on this restart, as we know how fast he is coming out of the gate. He said, Junior kind of ruined slide job like the boy who cried wolf. I hear you. I agree with that second comment as well there, George.
Yeah, I just had to do it. Maybe it was a little overused at this point, but
yeah, well, first caution of the night. Let's get a talk in with Mr. Troy Radford here. Troy Radford, Jay Weezy, you got me?
Yeah, I do, Jay Weezy. How you doing, bud?
Hey, man, you came out the gate, opened up about a 1 second lead almost there, and then they started tracking you down there. Caution came out. It might have been in your favor.
Yeah, I was kind of playing with it. Not that I was like letting them back in per se, but I was trying a few different lines, seeing if I could get a little better runoff. It's all about momentum here, so I gave up a little bit of time just kind of playing around with stuff. I really didn't get a whole lot of practice session around other cars here at Vegas in the A car, so trying to do that as I go.
Absolutely, man. You know, tire wear seems like it might play a role here tonight. What's your chances on parking this thing in Victory Lane, though?
I like to think they're pretty good. Vegas is a good track for me. You know, it's going to be tough. Tommy definitely brought his A game tonight. Stump's always real tough. I'm not real familiar with Edward Morris, but he seems to have a pretty strong piece too. So
I'd have to agree with you there, Troy, man. Well, you get to send these babies down into turn 1, man, so good luck.
Yep. Hey, thank you, Jay Weezy.
Hey, no problem. All right. Well, I mean, we got a little information there from him, Dustin, and you know, he might have been right about that. He's seen that he had a little bit of time to save just a little bit and not really force the issue there, especially considering it looked like it was going to go green.
yeah, and then you know it's always that saying they can catch you, but they got to pass you. So he was pretty much in the catbird seat at the moment, so he could kind of play with everybody and the car and line to see what he really liked out there.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Well, hey, you know, you got total control, man. If you want to pull somebody up, hey, it's on you.
10-4. It's a good looking car in second place. I like that paint job on that thing.
Yeah, I better calm down. I said that a little too much. A lot of great looking paint jobs out there, you know, and if they go green for a little bit, we'll take a run through the field and look at all these guys' paint jobs. A lot of beautiful cars out there tonight. A lot of ZL1s I see. And how about that Talladega race today? That was amazing to watch. I enjoyed that. But we got one right here getting ready to go one more time. Pace car about to come off the track. Troy Radford gonna put the pedal to the metal here. Hey, we're back green like that. Troy Radford checks out. I mean, that's one of the advantages of being up front. You know, you get that little extra lead there, but we got a battle for second and a battle for third. Or a battle for fourth, I should say. Chris Stump takes over that number 2 spot there from Tommy Haynes. Tommy falls into third. Ed Morris there is going to hang on to that number 4 spot in the 97 of Jerry Glenn. And we got AJ Rogers making his way up through the number 6 car, currently in the 6th spot there. And they got a battle going on between those guys. AJ up on the high side right behind the 97 of Jerry Glenn, and on the bottom it looks like the 30 of Todd Sargent. And I've become a fan of Todd Sargent here in the last few races, so I kind of pull for him every now and then. And he's got an awesome looking car too as well. The ZL1 Camaro barely taps the apron right there. He hangs on to it, but that's going to allow the 61 machine, Adam Jocelyn. Adam pulls right up to the outside there, and right behind him they got Dylan Mirando, Chris Berg, Darren Clement, Dale Albright, and John T. Wimbish fell back, it looks like, to the 13th position right now, so he's going to have to work his self back up through the field. And let's watch this battle here. John T. trying to make his way around the 42, Eric Driggins. And we also got a battle right here. That's Todd Sargent, like Dylan Sargent, yeah, kind of. Watching this side-by-side battle between Chris Berg right now. Chris Berg and the 27, Dylan Mirando, they're fighting right now for that number 9 spot. Chris Berg hangs on to it there. Dylan drops back in line. And now they're going to go after the 61 machine you see right there. It's Adam Jocelyn. Single file up front. Let's take a look at our top 5 here. Troy Radford in first, Chris Stump in second, Tommy Haynes, Edward Morris, Jerry Glenn. It's your top 5, and just out of the top 5 is AJ Rogers in the number 6. And I'm looking at these lap times right here, and it looks like Tommy Haynes might have one of the fastest cars. Him, AJ, and Jerry Glenn, all those guys pretty quick, but Todd Sargent, he laid down a fast one, so these guys better watch out. Some of these guys a little further back, they're laying down some very good lap times. Troy Radford's last lap was a 29.428. Tommy Haynes was a 29.524. And if you want to keep track, we'll put this up on the screen for you. How fast they going down into turn number 1. Looks like they get up to about 203, 204. And that's right, drawers. Hit that like button if you like what you see. If you don't, hit the thumbs down. Either way, it's all good.
Yeah, it looks like Chris Stump is right in Troy Radford's tire tracks, man. He's trying everything he can to get up to him. Seems like these cars are a little bit aero sensitive. A lot of guys like John Wimbish back in the pack is like he's struggling a little bit back there behind more cars, so that's going to play a role tonight also.
Yeah, clean air, you know, that's one benefit of being the leader there. Troy Radford out there in that clean air. Chris Stump, he's got a little dirty air, not as bad as some of these other guys having 2 or 3 cars in front of you. So I'm interested to see how Chris Stump does this. If he holds back just a little bit and tries to run him down later on, or does he go full force and try to run him down now? Right now he's getting right up on the back of him. He's only 0.2 of a second behind Troy Radford right now as they come off turn number 2 and head down the backstretch. And he closes that gap just a little bit more there as he heads off into turn number 3. Troy Radford's having a hard time with Chris Stump right now. Tommy Haynes still hanging on to that third spot.
Yeah, these two front runners are starting to separate themselves a little bit from the rest of the pack and try to settle it amongst themselves. Looks like Chris might have a little bit faster kart than Troy does at the moment, especially running in that dirty air, so he's battling a little bit harder than Troy is.
He's knocked another 10th off. He's got it down to 1.3 tenths. So, with that being said, let's jump in the car here with Chris Stump, take a lap around here, see what he's doing. He had to lift there. Little issue coming off of turn 4 there. Chris Stump had to get out of the gas, and Troy Rafford takes big advantage of that there. He's opened up that lead back to 0.5 of a second, half a second there. So also watch out for this Tommy Haynes, the 17 car. He's starting to run down the 98 and gain a little bit of track on Troy Rafford, but right now looking good for Troy Rafford. He's led 33 laps. It's going to be 34 this time by, so he's really showing a dominating performance here tonight in the 94 car, Troy Rafford. We got another battle on the track right here. The 32 of Darren Clement. Looks like they're going at it almost 3 wide there. John T. Wimbish in the middle. The 61 machine up on the high side. Adam Jocelyn. The 32 gets a great run off the bottom side as they're going to drag race across the start-finish line. Still side by side heading into one. And that 32 car is beautiful. I love that K&N car. I might have to borrow that one day. Hey, yeah. Unsolved and Jack. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Look at John's gonna make it 3 wide down there on the bottom and try to pass these guys.
Oh, the 32 moves up, taps to 61. Man. Wow, what a save there by Adam Jocelyn. He held on to that thing. That takes talent right there as he gets a little tap from the 32 of Darren Clement. Knocks him sideways. Adam Jocelyn, what a job. That might be the Good Hands Award for tonight right there.
Yeah, man, he definitely had a handful. Good job by him for holding on to that thing.
Yeah, as they were 3 wide there with John T on the bottom. John just trying to make up some of that track position that he lost, I guess, on pit road maybe.
Yeah, some of these guys behind Troy might want to try to make up some time on pit road and try to get by him, man, because it looks like it's really hard to make up time on the track.
Well, Chris Stump looks like he's getting ever so close there to Troy Rafford right now. And he might be getting ready to make a move as we got a move being made by the 66 here. Chris Berg trying to get around the 6 car of AJ Rogers. These guys, they've raced together before. So I know this is going to be a battle. Unless one of them lets the other one go, and that's what's going to happen. So let's go back up front and watch Chris Stump try to get a hold of Troy Rafford right now. Troy Rafford's barely hanging on to it, it looks like.
Yeah, Troy's doing a really good job right now taking Chris's line away. If you watch him, he's cutting down where Chris would gain a little bit on him from that clean air. He's kind of not giving him that opportunity.
That's I mean, you got to do what you got to do, and I don't blame him, you know. If it works, it works. Right now, they've been out for about 21 laps, 3 of those laps being caution laps, so they got 18 laps on their tires, hot laps that is, so the tires now they're up to pressure. You know, they've gained a little bit of heat as well, probably about 220, maybe more. So a little hot, a little expanded tires going on right now. And this is really when you get to see how that car is going to handle and how much did you abuse those tires early on. Chris Stump looks like he's searching around just a little bit as he pulls up right next to the wall in 1 and 2. So he might be trying to find something out there, boss.
Yeah, man, these guys are still 1, 2, 3. Tommy Haynes, Chris Stump, and Troy Radford. They've been the class of the field so far, and I think it's starting to get good now. Like you said, they got a few laps, about 20 laps on the tires, and fuel's starting to burn off a little bit. And we'll be seeing pit stops in about 10 minutes or 10 laps probably. So I probably want to try to make that move before pit road, but we'll see. Like Troy almost got the wall out of 2 there.
Yeah, that was close. We were riding on board. A little wobble there off turn number 2. He hung on to it, but man, that's just giving Chris Stump. He sees blood in the water and he's going after it like a great white shark. And Tommy Haynes, man, you know, when I think of Tommy, I think of consistent, you know. He's not really doing anything really aggressive and he's still right there. So, man, consistent, it usually pays off in the end, but you got to have a long run for it to pay off. And so far, they've been out there for quite a bit. Pit stops, you know, they said 32 or something laps. I forget what he said, somewhere around 30 laps. So, pit stops won't be too long either. Getting on and off pit road and all that mess, that's going to be a handful with these hot tires.
It looks like Troy's just a little slow getting back to the gas in the center of the corner, and Chris is kind of getting held up just a hair. I see Tommy pulling up on his back deck lid there, but it's going to get interesting here right before we get ready to make green flag pit stops, hopefully.
Well, the 2018 Demon Sim Works Cup Series here, live from Las Vegas on Facebook, live, YouTube, and Twitch TV. So however you're watching, we definitely appreciate the support.
Chris really applying the pressure here and looking inside of Troy. It's going to be hard to get up here and get this pass done off of 4. It gets kind of tight.
Chase says, go, go, go. My little great nephew. Hey, he's my buddy. And he loves some racing. Or basketball or football. You know them kids are, man.
Yeah, there ain't nothing wrong with that.
Well, Troy Radford been a kid in the candy store so far right now. I mean, you know, he's led every lap here tonight. As we come up on lap 47, he's going to lead lap 47 here too. Chris Stump, the Bud Light machine, still in the 2nd spot right now. So I'm pretty sure these guys are thinking about pit stops, you know. And the 7 machine, Edward Morris, you know, he is pulled up to the back end of Tommy Haynes in the 17. And Tommy might let him by here. Tommy looks like he might be signaling to come down pit row. And he is. Yeah, I thought I seen him waving on the backstretch. Here it comes. Let's watch this pit stop here from Tommy Haynes. $55 miles an hour here. And it says 56 maybe, but it's not right. I just want to watch this guy come on and off pit road real quick and see if he has any troubles. And we're going to keep an eye on everybody else as well. Troy Radford stayed out. He's still out there. Actually, Troy, they all 3 might be coming down pit road now here. Actually, no.
Yeah, this is one of those tracks where you got a flat exit here, so it's kind of hard to get up to speed, especially with these cup cars.
You see him have to baby it around the apron there. And now he's at the blue cone. He can come up on the racetrack there. So a little bit tricky coming off of pit row here. Getting on, not too bad. It seems like he got on there pretty well. And Troy, you know, still out. Actually, the only other people on pit row, I believe the 7 of Ed Morris on pit row, the 30 of Todd Sargent, he's on pit row as well. The 88 of Michael Thwaites, and he is down on pit row there. So we got Ray Radford as well. No, actually, Ray's not in yet. All right, Chris Stump out of second position is going to come on down. He stayed out for, I think, 2 laps more than Tommy did. So Tommy's going to have 2 laps fresher tires. Troy Radford's still out there, and I believe he's going to come in now. So we're going to ride in pit row here with him. Oh, coming in hot. Oh, and he loses it. Oh no, he saves it. What a save, to be honest. He didn't touch anything. He didn't get a penalty. What a save. He did lose maybe a little time there. But wow. That's coming in hot there, I'd say. Chris Berg, your race leader in the 66 right now. He stayed out, as well as Dale Albright, Bruce Potter, and Ray Radford. All those guys haven't came down pit row yet. So 4 guys out of the whole, I think, 20 cars here tonight. And 1 car is behind the wall. Dustin Ping, he has put it behind the wall. But yeah, wow.
Yeah, I was going to say, Troy might have stayed out a little bit too long and gave the lead up to Chris. You know, if he'd have been able to get on and off pit road pretty clean, but guess we'll never know.
All right, we got another one coming on pit row, and he takes his time and gets on there very smoothly. Chris Berg, no mistakes, entering pit row. That's going to turn the lead over to Bruce Potter. Bruce Potter, the only one that hasn't come down pit road yet. Dale Albright, Chris Berg, all on pit road right now. Those 2. So Bruce Potter staying out maybe to lead a lap here. So he's going to let the guys go by on the high side and prepare himself to hit pit road.
Yeah, old Bruce had a tough week last week at Daytona. Kind of got caught up in some stuff with none of his doing, and looking to rebound this week.
Yeah, and I was pulling for him in that race, you know, coming off a win at Talladega. I was really hoping for him to be able to pull it off the first race of the season. And he earned my respect there winning that Talladega race. Those races are not easy to win. But on to what's going on right now is Tommy Haynes is way out front. It looks like he's got a nice lead there. Over Ed Morris. Ed Morris is going to come out in second after pit stops, but he's 1.5 seconds behind Tommy Haynes here. So Tommy nailed that pit stop coming in 1 lap or 2 laps early. Looks like it paid off a little bit.
Yeah, you short pit a little bit, kind of force everybody else's hand, and you kind of get a up on the, one up on the field, the competition, and he's done it right now. Now he can kind of do away with his strategy he was doing earlier in the race, and he can kind of stretch it on out.
Yeah, well, they're not separated by too much, but they did. Tommy was able to put a little bit of distance between him and Ed Morris. When the biggest loser on that looks like it's going to be Troy Radford. Of course, he had a pretty big mistake coming on the pit row there, but he was able to hang on to it. Unfortunately, that's going to put him back in 8th position right now. So he's going to have to put his work boots on and go to work and see if he can't work his way back up through the field. We're taking a look at this battle right here between John Wimbish in the 56 down on the bottom and Todd Sargent in the 30 Chevrolet Camaro ZL1. And it looks like John's going to get by Todd there coming off of turn number 4. Let's take a look at our top 5. Tommy Haynes, Ed Morris, Chris Stump, Dylan Mirando, and John Wimbish. And of course, Todd Sargent just right out of the top 5 there in 6th position. I hear you, Rick. Yeah, I don't talk much, though. When I'm working, I'm working. And that's on the track, I mean. Todd Sargent making a move here as they go too wide down the backstretch. This battle is for that number 5 spot that John Wimbish had there. And that Demon Simworks, number 56. Or Derek Smith Engineering. Hopefully I said that right. I'm not sure. We'll have to get a talk in with John. That is a nice looking car there, and it's a pretty fast one. He was able to hold off the 30 machine of Todd Sargent. Todd making another run here on the bottom, though, to keep John battling for that spot. Keep him honest now.
Coming up on halfway here, these guys are doing a good job. Only one caution, so.
Yeah, pretty great race going on so far. As we were in the cockpit of the 30 car, Todd Sargent, excuse me. John Wimbish starting to pull away from him there a little bit after their battle. We got a new leader up front, though. Ed Morris takes over the lead. Tommy Haynes fell back there after having a great pit stop coming out ahead. Now it looks like Chris Stump and Ed Morris have made their way around him for first and second. It's going to put him back in that 3rd spot.
It looks like Tommy's got real good short run speed, and Chris has got awesome long run speed here.
Yeah, the 98 Toyota looking good, and I would have to agree with that. But Ed Morris, I mean, I don't know what to say about Ed. I don't know a whole lot about him, but he's really looking strong here at Vegas. Chris Stump putting a move on him here as they come across the start-finish line and head off into 1. The 98 ain't got him clear yet. Squeezes the 7 up into the wall. A little bit of contact there. Chris Stump moves it back down the track. Tommy Haynes sees the door open and takes it there as they go 3 wide into turn number 3. Tommy Haynes back into that number 1 spot there with Ed Morris trying to make a comeback on the high side as they cross that start-finish line. This time, it's going to be Ed Morris. Ed by not even a bumper, maybe the paint on his bumper. Going to hang on to the race lead there after barely scraping the wall there when contact between him and Chris Stump in the middle of 1 and 2.
Yeah, there wasn't much room up there, man. There wasn't any daylight, as they say, but man, I thought it would have kind of killed his car a little bit. Man, I think it lit a fire under him. He is taking off.
Speaking of taking off, the 27, the 17 of Tommy about got into the back of him on entry there. Looks like Chris Stump gets into the wall of 2. We got some racing going on now, a little bit of action on the track.
Yeah, 7 could just clip the wall for 2 there. Wow, these guys are letting it hang out in here.
Yeah, it is happening. You know, I was going to say the 27, Dylan Morris, he showed up. He might have been a little bit late, but he's here now, and they know it. And he's trying to make a move on Ed Morris for the lead. Be the first time he led tonight, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And I hope these guys don't look back because John Wimbish and Troy Radford are coming like you know what. All this racing up front's really let them guys kind of catch up to them.
You know that's right.
Troy's eating it up. He's loving this. You know, he's coming back from his mishap entering pit road, and he's looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, he's coming up on a lap car here up front. And we do have a new leader, Dylan Mirando, your race leader.
Yeah, this is awesome racing up front, man. This is really good.
Oh, Tommy Haynes moves to the inside of the 7. Ed Morris puts Ed up on the high side. Him and Chris Stump in tow there. Tommy trying to hold it down off of him off of the corner, and Tommy Haynes goes around there. Trouble for the 17. And no caution. And let's take a look real quick on the replay because I'm not sure if he hit anything. Coming off of turn 2 right here. Oh, I don't even think they touched. If they did, it was net code, and he slams hard into the inside wall with his left front there. Tommy Haynes, that's going to put a hurting on that machine, and a no caution right now. So any repairs will have to be done under green flag conditions back up front as we are back live. The 27, he's trying to run away from it. The 98 of Chris Stump, 0.8 of a second behind him in second. And in third, the number 7 of Ed Morris. He's 1 second behind our leader, Dylan. And while all that was going on, this battle, actually not really a battle, but John T. Wimbish and Troy Rafford, they've had a Hawkeye on this top. Oh, the 56 about pushed the 7 across the start finish line that time by. It looks like he had a great run there. Troy Rafford gets around on the high side. John Wimbish trying to follow suit, couldn't quite do it. Ed Morris looks like he's stuck in the middle right now with Chris Berg behind him. Chris Berg in that 66 Pennzoil. Three wide here with a lap car on the bottom. The lap car is the 97 of Dustin. Sorry, not Dustin. Jerry Glenn. And they made it work for now. John Wimbish got around. The number 6 is coming. AJ Rogers. I know he's fast. And he's been coming up through there with John Wimbish and Troy Rafford. Hey, Ron. Hollyfield.
Yeah, he is pushing John around this place right now. It's like, get out of my way, man. I got to go.
Yeah, and we're watching it. AJ trying to give John a little bit of a momentum. What do you want to call it? Encouragement. How about that?
There you go.
Shout out to Eddie Morris. He said, I'm watching from Billings. That'd be Andrew Annett, sorry.
Dylan, man, he's really stretching it out up there. Kind of guy we hadn't talked about really tonight. He's, guess he's new to this league, and he's doing a really good job right now.
Great job out front by half a second over Chris Stump. The 98, we'll go up front and watch that right quick because Troy Rafford, the 94, right behind Chris Stump there, as you can see. As they head off into turn number 1, the 94 worked his way back up to 3rd so far. He's still got a ways to go, it seems, because the 27 setting a blistering pace for these guys right now. And looking mighty strong here. Mirando leading the race.
Yeah, it looks like they might be reeling him back in here, and I think we're going to be getting close to pit stops again here soon. So.
Oh, David Roach, I hear you. Yeah, really good racing going on right now. A lot of action on the track here at Las Vegas for race number 2. And we'll take a look at the battle between our race leader and a logo. Let's see, we'll move it. So you got Dylan Morris out front. He's a half second out front of Chris Stump, and Troy Rafford's 0.2 seconds behind Chris Stump. And this is one of those things I don't use very often here, but it's cool to see the distance between these guys. As we see Chris Stump starting to close that gap just a little bit. He's got it down. I seen it hit a 3, so went from a 5 to a 3. Starting to close it a little bit. Troy Radford starting to fall off just a tad bit. I would say that will be because of tire wear. So Dylan Morris going to be looking in his mirror here and seeing a whole lot of that 98 Bud Light Toyota Camry of Chris Stump.
Yeah, I think he's gotten the good off them tires, and he's looking for a pit road here soon. Like I said earlier, Chris Stump really starts to shine later on in the run.
And that's exactly where we're at now. We're later on in the run. You know, pit stop's going to be coming up again. It's been long enough. They've been out there for around 29 laps, so the laps are just flying by here.
Yeah, they are. And I bet Chris wished the fuel run was a little bit longer. That way he could kind of maybe get a little bit of ahead of the field here. It seems like every time it gets to the end of a run, you have to pit, and he's already having to battle back to the front. So see how it folds or unfolds here to the end of the race.
Yeah, and you know, them having to make these green flag pit stops, he might be waving right here to come in. And I believe our leaders, he's hitting pit road here, lap 82 coming to 83. Dylan Mirando decides to come on to pit road. We'll keep an eye on him, as well as the 6 of AJ Rogers. He's going to come in third position when he enters pit road. And, you know, one thing about coming on to pit road, we also have a couple other cars coming in, I believe. Adam Jocelyn had just completed his pit stop. Darren Clement, he's been down pit road. Todd Sargent, he's also been on pit road. Ed Morris, Eric Driggins.
Looks like Troy Radford and John might have short pitted the field there, so they're showing me they're a lap down right now, so they might end up leapfrogging over a couple of these guys. Yeah,
it's not a bad idea. You know, you got to do what you got to do to get that car in position. The 26 of Dale Albright. Wow, another great save by a driver here. And that was by Dale this time. The 26, right now, he scored as the race leader. He's out front. Dale Albright and Bruce Potter are the only ones that haven't hit pit road just yet. And what a save. You've seen it live right there.
It looked like a product of new tires and old tires. He caught him so fast. You know, the closing distance, man, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, what a save though by Dale Albright, you know, and yeah, I agree with you. The tires probably have something to do with that. As Dale Albright makes his way on the pit road this time by, it's going to put the lead over to Bruce Potter. Bruce still haven't been down pit road yet. He's been out there for, this will be 30 laps this time by. So he's going to get him some points on the board for leading the lap. And then we got Troy Radford right here, which is just now coming across the start-finish line. And the 94, once this thing goes around, I believe that's going to put Troy Radford as your race leader.
Yeah, going back to what we were talking about a few moments ago about Chris Stump, man. He took the lead, then he had to pit, so now he's going to be battling himself back again to the front. And it's kind of a never-ending cycle. He might kind of try to short pit the next time around just to get on the same cycle as these guys.
Yeah, right now it's working out for the 94. He's been out there for 6 laps. Bruce Potter still hasn't came down pit road. He is the only car that hasn't been down pit road yet. And then we got the 32 of Darren Clement. Let's take a look at Darren. One of my favorite cars out there, the 32 car. He is on a different pit strategy than everybody else. He's been out there on those tires for 15 laps. Troy Radford's been out for 7. And, you know, Dale Albright just came down pit road. Tommy Haynes been out there for about 5 laps. And John T. Wimbish, he's been out for 8 laps. So it looks like John pitted 1 lap before Troy. And Troy pitted pretty early. Todd Sargent was also on that lap. Same pit strategy.
Yeah, I think this race is really setting up for a good one close to the end if we stay green, because I think all these guys can make it with one more pit stop, and depending on how they decide to pit or how soon or how late, I think it's really going to bring them all together when we get around to checker flag time.
Yeah, and it's setting it up for a race that you really don't know who's going to win this one. It's going to have to, you're going to have to wait till the end to see. With all the different pit strategies and the distance between each of them, you know, right now Troy Rafford's out front by 2.6 seconds. Chris Stump, he's in third behind John Wimbish. John's in second, of course. Chris Stump's 1.2 seconds behind John. So Troy Rafford and John Wimbish pitting that early, it did give them about a second or a second and a half lead over some of these other guys that stayed out about 3 or 4 laps longer than they did. Bruce Potter coming off pit road there in that Juicy Fruit number 59 as Chris Stump makes his way around him on the high side.
Yeah, and the way this race was setting up, man, it really played into their favor by pitting early, because they could make it on just one more stop, and it's pretty much everybody's on that same strategy of one more stop.
Yeah, you know, if they can run 30 laps, it's looking like to me the 32 is on a great strategy. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm not quite sure. Darren Clement is going to pit around lap 100, which would leave 30 laps left, right?
Yes, sir.
So I'm interested to see how this is going to work out. I have a feeling that Darren is going to be one of the top runners here at the end, unless he has some kind of trouble. But right now he's running in 10th position. I don't know. I really don't know. But just looking at the numbers, Darren Clement, don't count him out. He's definitely on a different pit strategy, but I think it might be for the better. But we'll have to wait and see. Troy Rafford's still the race leader here. Last lap was a 30.215. John and Chris Stump was right behind him. He ran a 30.9. So Chris Stump 0.3 faster than Troy Rafford. Problem is, he's 2.5 seconds behind.
Yeah, and he just got around John, and he's starting to pull away from John. Like we were talking earlier, though, he's got a good long run car. He's just not being able to use it.
Yeah, and he went by John like John was tied to a stump. Get it? The 98, Chris Stump. Yeah, he took over that number 2 spot. Now he's trying to run down Troy. He is closing the gap on Troy very slowly but surely. Right now it's 2.2. So he picked up about 0.3 that lap. Troy Rafford ran a 30.3. Chris Stump ran a 30.0. Unsolved. I hear you, man. Yeah, and the way that Darren is running right now, like I said, currently in 10th. But this is a strategy race, being that it's been green for so long. We've only had that one caution, and we've had 9 lead changes. So it's definitely a strategy race. And I think he is on a great strategy. If I was him, I'd be coming in here around lap 100. He's been out there for 24 laps.
Thinking our leaders might try to stretch it out to about 20 or 15 to go. What you think?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'd split it right in half and see what happens, or maybe short pit this time. But everybody's got different thoughts on that. I would try to short pit and leave that last stint the long run.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting because with Chris and his long run car, and Troy's got the short run speed, so that little bit of hitting early, man, it's really going to be awesome at the end of that run, and closing laps of this race is going to bring everyone together. It's going to be a shootout, I believe.
I totally agree. Well, while they've been out there, they're about halfway through their run. Let's take a look at these drivers' paint jobs, starting with our race leader, Troy Radford right there. The Napa Auto Parts, number 94. And he is out front by 1.2 seconds. Chris Stump, this guy, he's in second. He's narrowed that gap down to 1.1 seconds already. So he is coming on strong. And before you know it, he'll be in Troy Radford's mirror. The Bud Light Toyota Camry, number 98 of Chris Stump. We got John Wimbish in third, the 56 car. The DSE U.S. Army Camaro ZL1. It's a cool looking car. Right behind him, we got the number 4 car of AJ Rogers, started 8th. He's up to 4th right now. Not quite sure. I know it says Midwest Power Source on the rear quarter. Ed's Race Prints on the rear quarter of that machine. Number 5 spots, Adam Jocelyn, the number 61 Suburban Propane on the side of that thing with, I'm not quite sure what this says. Let's see if we can get a better look. Adam Jocelyn Racing Designs is the hood of that thing. It's a beautiful ZL1 Camaro, started 10th. Right now he's in 5th, so he gained 5 spots. Running in 6th is Ed Morris. Ed's Race Prints on the hood. Bud Light on the side. That number 7 Camaro ZL1. He started 3rd. He's lost 3 spots though. He's back in 6th right now. Keith Dunn. The 03. The Real Tree Fishing. Real Tree all over it. Beautiful ZL1 Camaro right there. Currently, he's in 7th. He gained 6 spots. What's up?
Troy Radford just hit pit road there, so here it's beginning now.
Oh, that's awful early. That's going to put him in about a 20-lap run. Let's continue through the field. Darren Clement, this guy, the 32. He started 15th. He's up to 8th right now. And the K&N Lucas Oil Camaro ZL1. Great job by him so far. He actually gained 1 more spot because Troy there. So 9th is going to be the 27 here. Dylan Mirando. Race for the Cure on the hood of that thing. And he's also in a Camaro ZL1. He started 9th. Currently in 8th. And, you know, we keep losing people from pitting, but Adam Jocelyn on pit road. We've already talked about him, so we'll move on to Tommy Haynes, man. He got in trouble earlier, started on the pole in the Sim Race TV Network paint scheme there. That Camaro ZL1, fast car, but he got into some trouble earlier, so right now he's in 13th. We'll move on to Todd Sargent right here, currently in 10th, started 7th in that Camaro ZL1 purple. And it's going to show some of these cars over and over again, but AJ Rogers right here, we haven't talked about him. The number 6, oh yeah, we have. He's in 2nd right now. Chris Stump's your race leader, by the way, as we're going through the field. I don't want to leave any of these guys out. Ray Radford right here. That's Big Troy. The 95 ZL1 Camaro. He started 20th. He's up to 15th. And we got Michael Thwaites on pit road, the 88 Menards ZL1 there. He started 16th, currently 16th. So he's pretty much just riding around right now. And some trouble for Jerry Glenn in this 97. The hub on the side and on the hood. A lot of damage on the front of that machine. He started 4th. He was fast too. Right now, he's in 17th. The 66 of Chris Berg got into some trouble as well, as he's on pit road right now. Might be done tonight as Dale Albright slides through into his pit box. In the Pennzoil Synthetics, number 66, he started 12th. He's in 18th. And we have 2 cars out of it right now. Dustin Phillips, your points leader, he scored in 19th. He is behind the wall. And we have Dustin Ping, which is another one behind the wall. We got a race going on, boss. These guys are battling. Bruce Potter, John T. Wimbish, and also the number 95 of who is in that 95 car? I think he's a lap down. Ray Radford. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And there's your race leader, AJ Rogers. He's trying to hold off Troy Radford right now, and Troy sticks it down in there, and he takes that bottom line. AJ, he's on 26 laps on them tires. Troy's only on 5, so yeah, of course Troy's gonna go flying by. Problem is AJ's a whole lap ahead of him, so Troy gonna have to come all the way around to get that lead. And let's go back to this battle, which is spread out quite a bit. I'm not sure if they had trouble or if the just different tire wear on these cars. So they're pretty much single file right now. We're looking at Bruce Potter in the 59, currently in 7th. So I wouldn't be surprised to see AJ come down pit road here pretty soon. And I was speaking about Darren Clement right now. He's in 10th, and he came in 3 laps ago, so he stayed out quite a bit longer than I would have. I'm not really sure what kind of strategy he's got, but hey, he's in the top 10, so he's doing something right.
Looking at my rundown, I'm waiting for it to update here. It's showing everyone a lap down except for Troy and AJ, so.
Yeah, that's right. Yep, that's right, somehow or another.
Yeah, I'm a little confused about that, but
There we go.
okay, there it is.
That's AJ, man. He's been out there, you know, he stayed out super long and stretched it out on him. So I think Troy was also a lap down too.
See, AJ would be really smart guy if a caution would fly right now. He'd really be in a good spot.
Well, he's on pit road. As soon as you say that, he comes down. Of course, that's how it goes. And he's coming back off of pit road now. So it looks like AJ come in and took 4 tires and fuel.
Okay.
All right, back up front. Let's take a look at our running order. The top 5 right now. Troy Radford, your race leader. Chris Stump, 6 seconds behind him. John T. Wimbish. You see Chris Stump right there. John T. Wimbish, he's right there. He's about 8.7 seconds behind Troy. And we got the 30 of Todd Sargent. He's right behind John T, trying to run those guys down. These guys are 9 seconds back. And to round out the top 5 is Adam Jocelyn right here, the 61. He's about 11 seconds back from Troy Radford. So I think Troy's going into 1 now, and he's coming off a 4. So Troy Radford looking strong here.
Yeah, this is really going to be interesting. They're coming up with here 15 to go at the line, and Troy's been out for about 13, I believe, on those tires. So somewhere around that vicinity, and Chris has got a lot fresher tires, about at least 10 laps. And he's been good on the long run, so it's going to be fun to watch here.
Yeah, with Troy having 5 laps older tires than Chris Stump, we know Chris Stump's going to, gain some ground on him. The question is, we got 15 to go, and Troy's got a 5-second lead over Chris Stump. That's going to be hard to narrow down in 15 laps.
Yeah, I thought he had a little bit older tires there, but 5 laps, yeah, that's not much, and yeah, that's 5 laps in 5 seconds, so.
Yeah, it's a long way to go, which I doubt he'll be able to do it unless Troy makes a mistake. And, you know, if you ask Troy, he's been known to make mistakes, so,
And
you
if
know.
you've been, you know, watching this race tonight, if anybody can do it in here, I believe Chris is the guy, because he just knocked off half a second there. So at that rate, I think he might be able to do it.
Oh yeah, and I believe Troy's got this one in the bag, hands down. All he's got to do is run the laps, you know. But you're right. If anybody can run down Troy, it'd be Chris Stump.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier. It's going to be fun to see how it plays out here with these different strategies and actually, you know, how their cars are acting for the long run, short run. It's been that whole struggle, the whole race between Troy and Chris.
Yeah.
They've had totally 2 different cars and strategies, so here we go. Man, he is knocking the half a second off a lap, it looks like.
Well, if he's knocking off that much, he might have a shot at this one. Right now, the gap is 3.3 seconds. It was 5 seconds 2 laps ago, 3 laps ago. So, yeah, he's knocking off about a half a second a lap, which is quite a bit. Troy Radford, he ran a 30.552. Chris Stump ran a 30 all zeros.
Yeah, it was a 4/10 right there, so
And
it's going to be close.
Yeah, we can see the distance between them. We see Chris Stump. He's in the picture now. They're on the same straightaways at the same time, so.
So now Troy, when he starts getting closer, he's going to have to keep doing what he did earlier in the race, about 20 or 40 laps in, running Chris's line and trying to keep his car in that dirty air. Just once you catch a guy, like we're saying, he's catching him 5 seconds back, but once you get up on that car, you lose all downforce on the front end, so it really makes it hard to stick the turns.
Well, Chris Stump is coming in a hurry. He's got it down to 2.5 seconds, so he knocked off 2.5 seconds in 5 laps, and at that rate, it is closing quick. I'm not counting him out.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one here. I'm really excited to see how this plays out.
Yeah, me too. You know, it's starting to slow down, you know, a little bit. You know, he'll gain a 10th or 2 barely, and he might lose a 10th of it back and then gain it again. So now it's starting to fight him a little bit. You can tell those tires have warmed up enough, and he has ran that car hard enough to where it's starting to fight back at him, you know. And Troy, he's loving every minute of it as he's up there smiling ear to ear, leading these laps. You know, he's dominated this race pretty much. Him and Tommy Haynes and Chris Stump, pretty much the fastest cars here tonight. And Troy, he's led 74, so be 75 when he crosses the line this time by. That's a pretty good domination, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's definitely been the car to beat since the green flag. The strategy just kind of threw it off a little bit. And you see right there's only 2/10 was made up that lap. So like you said, it is slowing down, but we do have 6 to go.
Well, yeah, it'll be 6 at the line.
Chris could be seeing him, you know, he's just overdriving just a hair, because when you're in that position like he is, having that fast of a car and fresher tires, you really start digging and you kind of make mistakes. Sometimes you got to calm yourself down and get back in the groove and get back focused.
Our closest battle on the track right now is between these two. It's Edward Morris there, and the 03 is Keith Dunn. These guys right here are battling for number 7 spot. Right in front of them is Todd Sargent, but he's quite a ways in front of them, about 8 seconds ahead of them. So these guys all back here by themselves, but they are still battling for that spot. Edward Morris trying to make a move for it here as it comes off turn 2. They're side by side down the backstretch here. And Ed looking strong. He was strong earlier. I believe he's got some right front damage on the 7. but he sure does know how to make it work. And right now, he's got 7 laps better tires than Todd Sargent. He's only got 3 laps better tires than Keith Dunn, which is the guy he's battling. I don't know why I said Todd Sargent, but yeah, Todd, 6th place, is about 8 seconds ahead of these guys. So they are only battling for this spot.
Yeah, the last thing Chris don't want to see is this lap car in between the two, but you know, that's racing, and it's just a little off right now. He's trying everything he can to get to him, man, but he's running out of time quick.
Yeah, he's coming to 3 to go with 1.3 seconds to go. It's going to be 1.2 when he crosses the line, so he's still knocking off a lot of time each lap. He was about 3.33 seconds faster than Troy Rafford that time by, so a little over 3/10 faster, and that's probably not going to cut it. But yeah, we're getting 2 to go this time here for Troy Rafford.
Yeah, man, Troy is up there. I know he's got a sigh of relief by looking in his mirror. He's got a good little lead here, and I think he might be able to keep it now. So he's looking good. He deserves this win, and man, he's a good guy.
Yeah, you know, and after the trouble he went through, you know, he definitely deserves it. He had to save that machine, you know, without hitting the wall, without getting a penalty, and still make his pit stop and keep his head together. Oh, Chris Stump scrapes the wall there off 4 there. That's going to close the door on at least getting to the bumper of Troy as Radford takes that last lap around here. The white flag's in the air for this Napa know-how machine. The 94 Troy Rafford, he's led 81, make it 82 when he crosses the line for that checkered flag. And as he comes off of turn number 4, of course, checkered flag waving in the air. Troy smiling ear to ear. And he's going to get the win here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the 2018 Demon Sim Works Cup Series for the United Southern Racing League. Your race winner tonight here looks like Troy Rafford, and great job by Troy. You know, like we were saying, he battled through some adversity, and he made it happen, you know, to be able to come home with the win. Hats off to Troy. Hate to see it for Tommy Haynes. You know, he come in with a fast machine, got into some trouble there, and that's going to put him a little further back in the field. I believe he finished back in 12th, but nobody had nothing for Troy Rafford. Even with a mistake, he was able to do it, and he's going to celebrate down in victory lane. So we'll take a look while he does his little celebration out here on the front stretch. Let's take a look at our race results here for tonight's race while Dustin gets our top 3 ready. Troy Rafford, Chris Stump, and John T. Wimbish is your top 3. A.J. Rogers in 4th. Adam Jocelyn in 5th. Todd Sargent, Edward Morris, Keith Dunn, Darren Clement, Dylan Mirando. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I appreciate you, Unsolved, for coming out. And as we look further back in the race results here, Dale Albright, Tommy Haynes, Bruce Potter, Ray Rafford, Eric Driggins, Michael Thwaites, Jerry Glenn, Chris Berg, Dustin Phillips, your points leader coming into this race. And Dustin Ping is going to be the last one out there. Hate to see it for Dustin and Dustin, man. Those two guys, they sure did have a tough race here tonight. But hey, Troy Rafford, you can't take it away from him. He went out there and he performed very well tonight, Dustin.
Yeah, man, he really showed these guys he was serious about this thing, and he's going to be a contender for this championship. And you know, he really, man, he put on a clinic tonight, and good to see him get a win.
All right, well, let's get ready for our driver interviews. If you're still out there, we're about to talk to our top 3. And 3rd place, it's going to be John T. Wimbish in the number 56 machine. Let's get a word in with John.
Hey, John Wimbish, this is Dustin German up in the Fox Sports booth, or the SRTV booth.
Somebody's been watching too much TV, huh?
Yeah, man. SRTV, my bad. So, how was your race, man? We were watching up here. You lucky didn't have the flashiest car. He wasn't, the fastest guy. But man, you were consistent all night, patient, did what you had to do, had a good points run. How'd you see it on your end?
Yeah, you're right. I wasn't the fastest car by any means. Probably shouldn't even finish third, to be honest with you, but just did a little different pit strategy there, trying to short pit just a little bit to try to make up some spots, and hopefully, wouldn't have enough laps where anybody could catch us. Troy Radford was just unbelievable. Stump was super fast, especially on the long run. If we'd had a few more laps there, I believe Stump could have gave him a little something, but Radford did a great job. But it just took me a little while to get down to it, man. I really had to run this thing on the high side the entire time, even over in 3 and 4. And, 1 and 2, you had to get that thing right up against the wall. And over the run, y'all know the tires just slick up, man, and doesn't want to grip too much. But other than that, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, man, I ran a few laps before the race started, and I could tell it was going to be kind of a high side deal, especially if they're 1 and 2. And I know the bumps are pretty bad through 1 and 2. That's what I thought. I didn't know too much about 3 and 4, but so you had a good race. Anybody out there you want to thank, man?
Yeah, I want to thank all these guys that come in here and race. People can race anywhere they choose to come here and race at USRL, and we try to keep things clean and fair. And I think we've had 2 really kick-ass races here, and especially tonight was really good, a lot better than I expected for the track conditions and having run up on the high side like that. But just thank all these guys for showing up and racing and putting on a good show and showing a lot of respect to each other. And thank you guys for putting on the broadcast. Congratulations to Troy on his win, and Chris Stump in second. AJ Rogers was catching me at the end there. He got 4th. My teammates, Darren Clement got 9th. Tommy got caught up in a little mess there, so he finished in 12th. But thank you guys, and thank y'all. Thank everybody that watches and pulls for your driver. We appreciate all y'all.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Oh, Johnny T, man, he came home in 3rd. Good points night for him. Chris Stump, man,
Good
I
luck
tell
with
you
your
what.
Fox Sports interview, by the way.
Yeah, I got to find a little bit there. I'm going to have to make that up somehow, but...
All right, let's get a word in with Chris Stump, man. He had a fast machine out there, and if he had a few laps, I believe he could have ran him down. I agree with John T there. Started 6th, finished 2nd. Chris Stump, you got a copy?
Yeah, go ahead, guys.
I tell you what, man, what do you think? 5 more laps, maybe?
I don't know. I burnt the right front up trying to catch him. I made a bad call that last stop. I was trying to hang on a little bit longer at the end and just lost too much track position. It just forced me to run qualifying laps that last 20 laps or so. So even if I could have got to Troy, I wouldn't have had enough right front to where I can get the thing cut in the middle and up underneath him.
Oh, I totally agree. You were closing really quick. You was at times 5/10 faster. Your worst lap was maybe 2. I seen you getting to the wall there off 4, man. What's that do to your confidence?
At that point, I wasn't lifting anyway, so I was still hammered down, and it was kind of a checkers or wreckers type mentality at that point. So, it was a good finish. Troy made a great call coming in when he did, and I should have followed suit. And, we kind of had a little chess match there the last 20 instead of him gapping me the way he did. But it was a great call, and he drove a great race.
Oh, yeah, man. You had a fast car out there tonight, man, and, you come up just a little bit short. But, hey, coming into race number 2 with a great finish, points, it's looking good in the points there for you.
Yeah, after last week's debacle, I was pretty nervous about all the pit stops. I seemed to find a way to screw up a pit stop every week, and for the most part, I had pretty clean stops all night. So take that away from the race. I'm pretty happy about it.
Hey, well, y'all had some long green flag runs, man. You made the best of it. You had a super fast car, and you finished second. So, you know, I congratulate you on that. And if there's anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, I want to thank John for, you know, always putting in, getting the league going. We've had some new faces show up, and for the most part, everyone's been real courteous on the track and seem to be good additions. Want to thank TNT Motorsports guys. We were missing Trent tonight, but I think for the most part we about had a full house. And I want to thank you guys. I really enjoy watching these races. After the race, you guys just do a phenomenal job.
Hey, thanks, man. Hey, dude, you almost had it, man. You did a great job tonight.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
All right, let's move on to our race winner. Looks like Troy Rafford's down in Victory Lane celebrating after a hard-fought battle, man. Had a little mistake on pit row, but he came out on top, man. Troy, you got a copy?
I do, man. I tell you what, after spinning onto pit road, I really don't know how I made up 5 seconds under green.
What I would like to know is how did you keep from hitting anything and not getting a penalty?
So I didn't hit the cone. I wasn't speeding. I was actually underneath the pit road speed limit. I just completely lost control of the car as I was braking. I downshifted at the wrong point. Of course, kicked my back end around. So I didn't hit the cone, and I was below pit road speeding. I think I actually may have. I don't know if I got onto pit lane when I spun or not.
Yeah, well, that goes to show you how hard you was running out there, man. I tell you what, you was, I mean, 8. At times, I didn't think, you know, anybody was even going to be on the same lap as you. You know, you come out of the gate, hammer down, and, you know, that first run, before the caution come out, you know, it looked like you started to reach a little bit of tire wear. We wasn't sure if you were just kind of backing off of it a little bit or whatnot, but, you know, coming into tonight and being able to come out of here led 82 laps out there tonight, so you pretty much dominated there, even after that trouble on pit row. You know, a lot of great driving on your part, you know, and you was able to come home with the win, man. How's it feel?
Oh, it's absolutely awesome, man. I mean, I've lost so many of them just by making the stupid mistakes. That actually win one and make a stupid mistake is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I said to boss, I said, hey man, you know, only way I see Chris Stump catching him is if he makes a mistake, and if you ask Troy, you know, he would make a mistake. You know, you always beat yourself up. You're pretty hard on yourself, so coming out here with a win ought to help with you a little bit.
Oh, yeah. I really can't complain. Hopefully they'll carry some momentum over into Tuesday. So,
how'd the car feel out there?
Oh, man, I tell you what, those A cars are a blast out here. I mean, the B cars handle really nicely, especially on the old runs. But the A cars, I mean, other than, you know, being that it was 65% fuel instead of 100%, it got a little bit tight off the corner. But those cars, you drive them so much more with the throttle. It's nice.
All right, man. Well, hey, you led 82 laps. You had the fastest lap out there with a 29.104, and you was able to come home tonight victorious. You're going to keep that checker flag and hang it up, but you're going to walk out here. It's going to help you in the points as well. So, you know, it's still early in the season, man. What do you think? Looking forward to the rest of the season.
You know, I had a little bit of bad luck at Daytona with a glitch not fueling my car on one of the pit stops. So I had to, you know, get towed in. So I ended up, you know, tonight was a nice recovery. Should put me up there in points. And it just need to be consistent. You know, Stump's going to be really tough throughout, you know, down the stretch. So going to have to be really consistent just to even get by him. But good start.
Oh, yeah, man, and I really enjoyed watching you guys out there. Y'all put on a great race. It was exciting. You had a little bit of action here and there and, you know, some green flag pit stops, man. So congratulations on the win. Anybody want to thank?
Mainly guys over at WB3. Chris had some bad luck there in the middle of the race, Chris Berg. Huge thank you to him. He actually stepped in and helped me with some of my final strategy when he got taken out. So I've got to throw that one completely to him on helping me because I knew what the closing rate was with Chris, and I was really trying to get enough of a lead that I could make him burn that right front up, trying to catch me. So, you know, just a big thank you to Chris Berg for stepping in and helping out crew chief duties for me, and of course, you know, my wife for actually letting me do all this mess. And my dad, of course, you know, heck, he's not out there watching anymore. He's out there racing with us too.
That's awesome, man. I love that, man. That's so awesome. You're lucky. I called him Big Troy earlier. But, hey, man, what's WB3? So we know a little bit.
All right, so WB3 is actually Greg Willis, who he just had a baby, so he's not running with us right now. But Greg Willis and David Roach are cousins. WB3 is actually for their grandfather, who's William B. Longstreth III. So they decided to shorten it up a little bit, go with WB3. It's just the team that they have, and you know, I've been fortunate enough that they offered for me to come on board and run with them. They do some awesome work. We actually have some really cool hats out there. If you guys want any hats, just holler at me.
Absolutely, yeah, man. Hey, well, you got a win in the books for WB3 and Team Troy Radford, man. Congratulations tonight. Great job.
Yep, thank you, Jerry.
Well, boss, man, I tell you what, tonight, if that don't get you excited, you know, these guys put on a great show for us. Green flag pit stops. We had some action on the track. Unfortunately, our points leader, he's going to leave tonight here, 19th position. So, Dustin, if you're listening out there, man, hang in there, brother. It's still early, and I'm sure you ain't going to be too far off. Boss, what'd you think?
Yeah, man, that was an awesome race. I love, you know, calling him for a strategy. You know, you never know what's going to happen. You had Troy was fast, Chris was fast. You had John, you know, being consistent, and Tommy Haynes, man, tough break for him. He was really fast. I'd love to see him there at the end, but didn't shake out well for him. But dude, I can't wait till next week. Looks like we're going to Iowa, dude, and it's going to be a handful there in the Cup car. Those guys really usually don't run there at Iowa, but looks like that's where we're going.
Hey, Iowa always puts on a great show. I'm sure we'll also get to see some action there as well. So for tonight, for Dustin German, I'm Jay Weezy. Thanks for watching. Sim Race TV, SRTV Network. Check us out on Facebook. Check us out on YouTube. We're also on Twitch TV. And hey, man, I just need 2 average viewers. But before we go, I want to get in one more talk, if we can have the honor. Tommy Haynes, it's Jay Weezy. You got a copy?
What's up, John? I hit the wrong button, but I'll stick right here.
Hey, man, I was wanting to ask you, what happened to you out there?
I got underneath the 7, and I guess he bounced it off the wall coming off 2 and got into me, and then I didn't have nothing but sailing to the inside wall on the backstretch.
Yeah, I hate to see that for you, man. You know, you got a beautiful, beautiful paint job on that machine. You know, you come in tonight, started on the pole. Unfortunately, you got caught up in some mess, man, but you had a strong car. And, you know,
on the long run,
yeah,
I could get back on them.
Oh, yeah, and you've been strong. You know, every time I watch you, you're usually strong, either up there leading the race or trying to go for the lead, one or the other. So you always come in pretty strong. And what's the confidence level here in this season, you know, looking forward to the rest of the season?
Oh, I'm high on my confidence. I can't wait till next week. Well, that's going to be fun. Good and slick, and I love that place.
Absolutely, and these cars are a handful there. You know, you're going to have all that horsepower. You're going to be able to hang on to it. I know you. But, man, I hate to see what happened to you out there tonight. You made the best out of it, though, after starting on the pole.
I get a caution, man, so I can get that damage fixed. I had about a minute and 30 seconds of damage, and I never could get a caution and get it fixed. So I just got what I could get, and we'll go on to next week.
Yeah, I mean, and you almost broke into the top 10, so you come home 12th tonight, man. Good run out there, and hey, man, anybody want to thank? I know it was...
I'd like to thank SRTV, y'all, for doing everything y'all do. John Winbush for putting the league on, and it was. I think it was a hell of a race, dude. One caution. Everybody kind of raced pretty good. I think it's going to be a fun season.
Hey, I would have to agree, man. Well, thanks for coming up here last minute, and we'll catch you on the next one.
All right, see y'all, bud.
All right, that was Tommy Haynes. All right, so we're going to wrap it up now. Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate everybody that gives us all their support. Dustin, thanks for coming up in here with me.
Well, man, anytime. This is shaping up to be a good season here in the USRL, man, and I can't wait for next week.
Oh, it's going to be exciting, man. We're going to Iowa, so tune back in Sunday night. We'll be live about 8 or about 9:30, 9:40 Eastern time for race number 3 for the 2018 Demon Simworks Cup Series here live on SRTV Network. I'm Jay Weezy with Dustin German. Everybody, have a great night.